Hey everyone, today we're taking a look at the SH Figuarts Aoi Todo from Jujutsu Kaisen. I love Jujutsu Kaisen, both the anime and the manga, and I also like Todo as a character, so I was very excited to get this figure. First we'll look at some of the details. To get one of the negatives out of the way at the start, his chest and face are slightly lighter color than the rest of the torso. That's the one downside of this figure, my one minor complaint with it. It's really going to depend on what lighting he's under though. Under just regular lighting on my desk, it's not super noticeable. Here, under all the lights on the camera, it's a bit more noticeable to me at least. I don't think it's terrible though, but it is something I wanted to mention. On to the positives now. The shading all over the muscles is really nice. It really brings out the sculpt. And it's even on the back. The sculpt is really nice as well. He's got some nice defined muscles. I feel like this is something they really needed to nail since he is just a shirtless guy. So if this was just plain plastic with no paint or shading, it would be pretty disappointing, but I think they did a really good job here. The shading is a bit darker in some spots, like along the sides here, but I don't think that's a negative. It kind of just contours the figure a little bit. And overall, I think it looks really nice. I really like how they did this. And I wish more of the Dragon Ball figures would be like this, but I'm really happy with how Todo looks here. The pants are a bit more plain. They're just kind of dark baggy pants. He's got the white sash. I do like the sculpt of the pants though overall. They've got the knees like they did with Super Boo. One thing I saw is it may come out of the package with the hips looking a bit flared like this. Those are on a ball joint though, so you can just kind of push them in there and then it looks fine. I think it looks fine at least. Coming down to the feet, he has some shading on the ankles as well. Overall, the shoes are painted on well. He does have pretty big feet, but that should assist with getting him to stand pretty well. He shouldn't have his shoes toppling over. The faces look nice. He's got his scar painted on there. It's a pretty good likeness. Some of the face sculpts are maybe a little off in some way. I'm not quite sure what, but some are better than others. I like this one. This is the one that comes on him in the package. He's got his bun. That looks nice. A bit of a subtle detail on the faces here. There are some little horizontal lines sculpted in just on the scar that make it look a bit more like scar tissue. I think that looks nice. It's not super noticeable. It might be a little hard to see on the camera, but an appreciated detail. I like that. So yeah, overall, I'm very happy with how it looks, and I can forgive the chest being a slightly different color, since once I start posing it and fiddling with it, I kind of forget about it. I think the fantastic sculpt and the shading everywhere really outshine the minor negatives I have. For accessories, he comes with the smiling face in the package, and then 4 other faces. These two are pretty similar. This one, the lips are slightly more pursed, and the eyes are closer together. This one, the mouth is a bit more neutral and the eyes are slightly further apart. The one on the end here, this may be for kissing the locket he comes with. Then he comes with a yelling face and the boogie woogie curse technique activation face. That one's probably my favorite just because it's silly. So those are all done pretty well. The paint's clean on them. The mouth on the yelling face is done really well, and the mouth on this one as well. The paint's very clean in there. Got some very tiny details on there, and they did a good job getting the paint in there and not having it bleed out. For hands, he comes with fist hands in the package, a pair of flat palmed hands for clapping, a pair of kind of splayed open grappling hands, a pair of slightly more relaxed open hands, one right style posed hand for doing a specific pose with Yuji Itadori, and one right hand for holding his locket. And there's the locket. He holds that well. This is just some black plastic with the locket bit painted silver. It looks alright, and that's how it looks on the figure. You just pop the head off and slip it over the neck. And finally, some interchangeable crossed arms. And there are the crossed arms on the figure. I like these a lot. These are probably the best crossed arms I've seen on SH Figuarts. Really like the way they sculpted them. How it's got the fingers of one hand coming over the top here, and the half the hand tucked under the arm here. It looks really nice. On to articulation. The joints are pretty tight on this figure, so it's a little bit creaky. The head looks up not very much. I do wish the head looked up a bit more than that. It's a combination of the back of the hair bumping into the neck here, and them using a very tiny ball for the double ball peg. So if this ball was bigger, it'd be able to rotate back more. But unfortunately not. And looking forward, can't look forward very much at all either. Can lean the head side to side a bit. It does also have a ball peg at the neck, but that doesn't really help with the looking up or down much, unfortunately. The arms do go up better than horizontal, which is nice. There's a butterfly joint, but it doesn't do a ton. It wiggles back and forth a little bit. This one maybe like wiggles a little bit more, but most of the butterfly you get on this, I feel like, is actually from the ball peg in here, because the arm can already kind of shift around on that, so that's mainly what it's shifting forward and back on. It can't reach across his chest well, so can't really complain too much, and this is good for all the clapping poses you'll need. There is a swivel at the bicep. You can also pop that off to swap out the arms. Double jointed elbows, get pretty good range for a bit of a beefy guy. And then at the wrists, they're a ball hinge, so you can kind of move those around however. At the torso, he can lean back on this diaphragm joint. That much, not a ton. Forward, also not a ton, but not terrible. I do like that they continued the sculpt pretty far up there, so you don't just have gaps, you just get some extra muscles exposed. That looks very nice. With the waist joint, you can lean back a pretty good amount. And then leaning forward, still not a ton. I would have liked it to lean forward a little bit more, but not awful. It does get rotation at the waist, and a little bit at the diaphragm there. The legs move out to the side pretty much all the way. There is a thigh swivel. That's also on a ball peg, so you can kind of shift the pants in or out or forward or back, however you need to adjust for your poses to kind of hide the articulation a little bit and the gap you can get there. Legs move forward this much, back this much, which is pretty good considering he does have the bit of a butt cheek sculpted there. The butt kind of tucks into the pants when you move it back, so that's nice. Double jointed knees, and then a ball hinge at the ankle. That foot goes forward basically all the way, back all the way as well, and then you do get an ankle rocker there. And there's a toe hinge. It's not the best looking toe hinge, but it's fine. Pretty good ankle articulation there. So overall, pretty good articulation on this guy. I do wish the head and neck could move around a bit more. Other than that, I think you're going to be able to get him into any of the poses you want to. I just wish they would use bigger double ball peg for the head. For sizing comparisons, Todo is standing at about 6¼ inches tall. Here's Todo with some other SH Figuarts Jujutsu Kaisen figures. Satoru Gojo, his best friend Yuji Itadori, Megumi Fushiguro, and Nobara Kugasaki. And I think he scales pretty well here. He's large and beefy, just as he should be. He's roughly the same height as Gojo, and I think they look good together, especially him and Itadori, who probably most often be posed with in my display at least. Here he is with a Marvel Legends Nightcrawler and NECA Last Ronin Raphael. For some more monstrous figures that could maybe work as curses, here is the V-Toys Asura and the Maestro Union Furry Planet Veteran William in the exclusive white color. If you haven't seen my review of these two figures, I'll link them in the description. So overall, I like this figure a lot. It does have a couple negatives, with the head not being able to move as much as I would like, and the chest and face being a slightly different color than the rest of the torso. But once I get posing it and I have it next to the other Jujutsu Kaisen figures, I kind of forget about those things. And like I said earlier in the video, I just think that the positives outweigh the negatives, for me at least. Like, I think the sculpt here is fantastic, and I love the shading on the muscles. The overall look is great. So I'm having a lot of fun with this figure. I'm happy to have it on the shelf with the other Jujutsu Kaisen figures, and I hope they keep making more Jujutsu Kaisen figures. I'm hoping to see a villain next. Nothing new has been announced past the hidden inventory Gojo and Geto, but I'm hoping for a Mahito or Jogo or Hanami. Any of the villains really would be great. So let me know in the comments below, are you going to get this figure? And what figures do you want to see next from the Jujutsu Kaisen line? Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.